Is it I or me? Do we say you and I or you and me? What's the difference? Hello and welcome to English Speaking 360. Here's a short quiz for you. Which one is the right answer? Me and John went to the store. I and John went to the store. John and me went to the store. Or John and I went to the store. If you don't know the answer, you're gonna find out today in this video. Here's what you need to know. I is always the subject of the verb, or if you prefer, the doer of the action. Me, on the other hand, is the object of the verb or the receiver of the action. Here's an example. I saw Sarah. So who is the doer of the action? That's what we have to find out. So we can ask who saw Sarah or what saw Sarah, but in this case it's who. Who saw Sarah? And the answer is I. I saw Sarah, so I is your subject and I is right. So you cannot say me saw Sarah. On the other hand, Sarah saw me. Now, to find the object of the verb, you have to ask these questions after the verb. So, Sarah saw whom or Sarah saw what. In this case, it's whom. Sarah saw whom? Sarah saw me. So, me is the object of the verb or the receiver of the action. So, the me in this sentence is not doing anything. It's just being seen by Sarah. Maybe you will say, teacher, what is whom? Many people, instead of saying whom, say who, but it is the same or very similar. Don't worry too much about it. This will help you even more. The English sentence structure is subject, verb, object, SVO. It's not the same in all languages, but in English, it's always subject, verb, object. So Joe speaks English, for example. So Joe is your subject, your verb is speaks, and English is your object. Now remember, in English, the subject is usually before the verb. So that is the most common sentence structure. And the object is usually after the verb. So you just need to remember this. I is the subject or the doer, and me is the object or the receiver. Good. Now here's an example. John and I or me played soccer yesterday. So do you choose I or do you choose me? Make your choice. And now let's give it a try. So you would ask who played soccer yesterday, and by asking who before the verb, you are looking for the subject. So who played soccer yesterday? And the answer is I played soccer yesterday. So I is your subject pronoun. I played. I am the one who is playing. I am the one doing the action. So I is the right answer. Now here's a tip. You can remove the other person and see if it makes sense. Here we go. So I can remove John and I. So John can be gone. So if we remove John and we keep I, it becomes I played soccer yesterday, and that is a good sentence. Nobody would say me played soccer yesterday. It doesn't work. Okay, can we say this? I and John played soccer yesterday. No, it's not polite. Why isn't it polite? It's because you should always mention other people first, not you first. I am the most important person in the world. No. John should be before you. So John and I played soccer yesterday. Okay, how about this? John and me played soccer yesterday. Me must be the object of the verb, right? You remember that? And here, me is in the subject position because the object is after the verb, but in this case, me is before the verb, so it doesn't work. That is a wrong sentence. Also, remember the tip I gave you. Remember the tip? Yes, you can remove the other person. Me played soccer yesterday doesn't work, so you cannot say that. Let's try another one. She invited Mike and I, or Mike and me, to the party. Make your choice. Good. So she invited whom? Whom is asked after the verb, so we are looking for an object. So she invited whom? She invited Mike and me. She invited me to the party. You see, me is the object. It's the receiver. So me received the invitation, and it's also after the verb, so we have the right answer. Also, remember the tip, you can remove the other person. She invited me to the party. It's a perfect sentence. Can you say this? She invited me and Mike to the party. No, it's rude, like I said before, right? Remember, always mention other people first, so Mike comes before me. Okay, how about this? She invited Mike and I to the party. Aha, I must be the subject of the verb. Here, I is in the object position because it's after the verb, right? But I should be before the verb. So it does not work. The only right answer is she invited Mike and me to the party. Remember our little quiz from the beginning? Which one is right? Now let's check the answers. First one, right or wrong? Wrong. Second one, wrong. Third one, also wrong. And the last one is right. Now, why is that? First one, me and John went to the store. It's rude because you are before John. Me is before John, so it's a rude sentence. Be careful. And also, me here is the object. So it cannot be before the verb. If you want to use me, you have to use it after the verb, not before. Also, you could remove John. Me went to the store doesn't make sense. I and John went to the store. It's rude because you put yourself before John, so it doesn't work. But if you remove John, this sentence makes sense. I went to the store, so you have the right pronoun. And the third one, John and me went to the store. Me is the object, so it cannot be before the verb, so it doesn't work. And once again, if you remove John, me went to the store doesn't make sense. Last one, John and I went to the store. Good, John is first, so it's a polite sentence. And I'm second, I. And also you can remove John. I went to the store, it's a perfect sentence. Let's try one more. Which one is right? Sam wants to speak with I and Jen. Sam wants to speak with me and Jen. Sam wants to speak with Jen and I. Or Sam wants to speak with Jen and me. Ready? First one. Sam wants to speak with I and Jen. Ready? Wrong answer. Okay. What about the second one? Wrong also. The third one? Wrong. And the last one is right again. So let's check them out. The first one, Sam wants to speak with I and Jen. What's the problem? It's rude because you put I before Jen, so you cannot do that. And I is a subject pronoun, so it shouldn't be after the verb, it should be before the verb. You could also remove Jen. Sam wants to speak with I doesn't make sense. The second one, Sam wants to speak with me and Jen. This one is just rude because you put me before Jen. But if you remove Jen, Sam wants to speak with me. That makes sense. So me is the right pronoun. Number 3, the third one. Sam wants to speak with Jen and I. Ready? And I is a subject pronoun, so it should be before the verb, not after. In this case, it's in the object position, so it doesn't work. And also, if you remove Jen, Sam wants to speak with I doesn't work. Sam wants to speak with Jen and me. Of course, that is good because it's a polite sentence. And if you remove Jen, Sam wants to speak with me. We have the right answer there. Here are some confusing cases. Which one is right? She is smarter than me, or she is smarter than I? Think about it very carefully. And the answer is, she is smarter than me, but she is smarter than I is also right for different reasons. Now, let's take the first one. She's smarter than me is actually a mistake, but it is an accepted mistake and it's very, very common. So you're going to hear this very, very often. But the second one is actually grammatically correct because the real sentence is, she is smarter than I am. So she is smarter than I am smart. So the subject of the verb to be, of am, is I. It's not me. So that's why the second one is grammatically correct and it's actually the best answer. But remember, you will hear the first one very often. It doesn't mean that you should use it. Now here are two other pairs. He works as hard as me. He works as hard as I. Think about it carefully. Ready? The answer is, the first one is right. He works as hard as me. And the second one is also right. So once again, it's for the same reason. It's an accepted mistake and you will hear it very often with me. But the second one is grammatically correct because the sentence is, he works as hard as I do. So he works as hard as I do work, or as I work. So that's the issue. So the subject of the verb do is I do. And that's why you should use I, and that is the best answer. One last challenge before the test. You ready? Which one is right? Between you and me, the movie was terrible. Between you and I, the movie was terrible. You ready? And the answer is, between you and me is right, and the second one is wrong. You may be surprised by this one, but keep in mind that me is the object, and in this case, me is the object of the preposition between. Between whom? Between you and me, not I. I is a mistake, and many people say that, but it is a mistake and it is not acceptable. It's quiz time. Test yourself. Me and my wife bought a house. What do you say? Right or wrong? Here's the question you should ask. Who bought a house? Okay, and the answer is, I bought a house. I is the subject pronoun, and in this case we have me, so it is the wrong answer. Now, you can remove the second part, my wife, and it becomes me bought a house. It doesn't work. Now, I and my wife bought a house. Is that okay? No, of course it's not okay because you have to say my wife and I bought a house, and that is the right answer. Question number 2. Nobody speaks English better than me. Ready? Right or wrong? It is right, but be careful. Better than me, it's accepted and it's common, but actually it's not so great because the real one should be nobody speaks English better than I do, and that is grammatically correct. Question 3. The gift is from my girlfriend and me. Think about it. Is this good or is it bad? Here's the question you should ask. The gift is from whom? And the answer is, the gift is from me. Me is an object pronoun and it's after the verb, so it is a good sentence. And of course, you can remove my girlfriend. The gift is from me, and it makes sense. Question 4. Lisa and I need to work overtime today. Lisa and I need to work overtime today. Is that right or is it wrong? Here's the question. Who needs to work? I need to work. Lisa and I need to work. So it's a subject, and here the subject is before the verb, so that sentence is right. Of course, you can also remove Lisa, and I need to work overtime today is a perfect sentence. Question 5. This secret has to stay between me and you. Ready? And the answer is, it's right, but it's also wrong. Do you know why? Between me and you is right and wrong because it's impolite. Like we said before, you place me before you. You shouldn't do that, but many people do it, unfortunately. Many people say between me and you, but it should be between you and me. And that would be right because it's grammatically correct. Good job, guys. If you want to learn more useful English, check out my other videos. I have so many good videos. Enjoy. See you next time. Bye-bye.